Okay, so I apologize if it's loud. My last video was a little ahead of where I should have been. For some reason, I can't seem to remember that not everyone knows anything about security, and that's my biggest flaw. Is whenever I go into this, I keep thinking that people understand and grasp the concept of security. So I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. What is situational awareness? Why is it important? Situational awareness is not just being aware of your surroundings, but it's seeing the guy walking down the street and being able to tell if he has I live in a really rural area, and most of you guys know, a lot of you guys live around me. Being able to tell if he's got a threatening posture, if he's up to no good. Chances are, for example, if it's the middle of summer and you see a guy wearing a black ski mask, kind of obvious. Situational awareness goes along in the lines of, so for example, knowing when shit's going to kick off, doing a patrol and the streets are dead silent, military, law enforcement, anything like that. So if you're doing a patrol and streets are dead empty in a normally busy area, something's not right. Situational awareness is about your reading your gut instinct. Your body picks up on so much more stuff that you don't realize it does, and it says, hey dude, something's not right, man. So getting into deeper detail, situational awareness isn't just about knowing and being able to read a certain individual. Situational awareness is being able to read multiple individuals at once, knowing your emergency exits. My wife and I, for example, anytime we go out, she always knows. First thing we do is we scope out the emergency exits. Second thing we do, it's kind of stupid, but it makes it fun. We try to pick out areas for cover, areas for concealment, so on and so forth. What is cover and what is concealment? So cover is something that you can hide behind that is going to stop or slow down around a projectile from a firearm. Concealment is where it's just hiding you, like laying in tall grass. It's not going to protect you from anything, but what it's going to do is it's going to make it so you're not as visible. Other key points that we look at when we go out are, okay, if, for example, an active shooter situation happens, where are they going to come from? Where's the threat going to originate from? And as I said in my previous video, you don't know. No threat is textbook. Not a single fucking one. So, I know I'm 4 minutes in the video. I just remembered something someone told me about my last video. I'm going to start doing my videos sideways. Sorry about this. I know that's going to piss a lot of you guys off. I'll do my next video sideways, because if I do this during the video, it's going to cause the video to be all fucking stupid. So anyway, anyways, what is cover and concealment? Covered that. No security threat is going to be textbook. It's not, you're not going to pick up a book and read and be like, oh, this is how this is going to happen. No, it never works like that. When you go out to eat, for example, and you're in a crowded, choose, as much as I hate to do this, let's use Westport again for an example. I seen another thing in the news, or on Facebook news, that people are actually second guessing going to Westport because of all the shootings that have happened in Westport. So for example, we're going to use that as kind of like a classroom setting. Okay, so you go into a bar in Westport, which is in Kansas City, if you guys didn't follow my last video. And in that bar, it is packed shoulder to shoulder. I don't like being in areas like that. I like the podunk bars that have a handful of people in them. Yeah, the service might be a little shittier, but what's the risk analysis? What is risk analysis, for example? Okay, that's another good question. Risk analysis is being able to read a situation where a potentially hostile threat could happen. As I said in my previous video, there's not a single place that a threat cannot happen. I could have someone walk up to my front porch right now while I'm sitting here making this video and put a gun in my face. What's the assessment level of that? Very slim. Very slim. But it could happen. So what is risk assessment? Risk assessment is being able to assess a situation that is a possibility. What is the probability of this situation arising? Or a situation arising? As I said previously, higher populated areas are going to have higher crime rate. So your levels of crime rate are going to fluctuate with the density of population. A more urbanized area, urbanized being like, I'm trying to be more politically correct about this, urbanized area being more like the ghetto, downtown of a city, downtown Omaha, downtown Kansas City, downtown Des Moines, it's going to be a higher threat level because it's a higher crime rate. And you can use a threat assessment in everything you do. Going out in the woods to go hunting. If you're going out on public property to go hunt for deer, rabbits, whatever, there is a threat assessment level. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get shot. No. You could roll, twist your ankle, not have a way out. Be fucking stuck. Everything you do has a threat risk assessment. It's the matter of you being able to recognize that threat risk and being able to work with it. One thing I do, everywhere I go, in my truck, and this is just me, this isn't, it's kind of, I'm trying to think of how to explain it. It's kind of overkill, but in the same concept, if you need it and don't have it, you're going to be overkill. So, everywhere I go, I have a level 4 trauma kit that I carry in my truck. It's the same exact trauma kit that EMT and paramedics carry in their ambulances, or first responders carry with them. I actually even have more equipment. I've had an EMT look at my bag and they were like, holy shit, you have fucking everything. I have needles to be able to insert during a tension pneumothorax event, collapsed lung. So say someone gets shot, for example, someone gets shot or is in a car wreck and the lung is punctured and there's a hole and that lung can't reinflate. So I have the equipment in my med kit to be able to seal that wound and allow the air to escape the chamber so that the lung can reinflate. Yes, that's a bit overkill. We don't need that here. But you don't need it until you need it. And then what happens then? If you don't have it, someone's going to die. This goes back to your mistakes that you make can cost lives. With that being said, I have literally everything. When I purchased my med kit, I didn't even think about it. I myself am hypoglycemic. I have low blood sugar. So that there in itself is another threat. If my sugar drops too low, I can go comatose and essentially die. So in my med kit, I have glucose tablets, blood meter, blood sugar check thing. I don't know what exactly it's called. And I know how to use it because I have to use it on myself every now and then. I had purchased my med kit and I had it for about 5-6 months. And I check up on it I try to keep check on everything monthly. So if I have any of my supplies that expire, I throw them out and get new. So for 5 or 6 months, I hadn't used this med kit. And I almost had pulled it out and was like, no, there's no fucking point in me carrying this because I haven't had to use it. Well, luckily, the day I was thinking about pulling it out was when I went to go get my passport. I had to go to the post office in Leavenworth. Well, while I was at the post office getting my passport shit done to go work overseas, a bunch of people started yelling outside. Well, I was in a federal building, so I did not have my firearm. That's the 0.0001% of the time, 0.00001% of the time I don't carry a firearm. Is if I legitimately cannot carry a firearm, I won't. So, people start screaming and yelling, horns are blaring outside. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. I'm inside of a federal building and have no clue. Sorry, someone was calling me. So, I talked to the teller and I was like, hey, I'll be right back. I've got something's going on outside and I'm going to go check it out. So I went outside and there was this old man who had fallen over. He was diabetic. Luckily, that one time I had my med kit in my truck when I was thinking about not leaving it in there, I had it. I responded. There was a bunch of people standing around him. I told him, get back. Ran over to my truck, grabbed my med kit, came out. First thing I did was I tried to talk to him, see what was going on. He was confused. He wasn't able to talk, blah, blah, blah. So I get my med kit out and I checked his blood sugar. His blood sugar was a 12. 1, 2. 12. So I got out my little packet of glucose gel and administered it to him. He started, after a few minutes, started being able to actually think and communicate a little better. And he did tell us he was diabetic and blah, blah, blah. But he was confused. He had no idea where he was at. Well, about that time, it took about 15 minutes for the EMS to show up. And during that time, he started gaining his consciousness back and so on and so forth. Luckily, another individual that was on base, who happened to be a medic, was out and about in Leavenworth. And he had a med kit as well. So he came out and he started working alongside with me. And we were able to assist this gentleman until EMTs showed up. And then EMTs took him, asked us exactly what we did. And we told him exactly how many milligrams of glucose and blah, 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 blah. So anyways, that's what a threat risk assessment can help you with. It wasn't textbook because you know why? None are. But having that equipment could have saved that guy's life. Having that, being in the right place at the right time, could have saved that guy's life. The medic was a big help as well. He had stuff that I didn't have with him. He actually had a blood cuff and so on and so forth. So he's actually able to take his vitals while I was talking to the guy and helping administer the glucose and so on and so forth. So, A threat risk assessment isn't necessarily just your life. A threat risk assessment is the risk of a threat anywhere, from anyone, for anyone. You never know. Someone could be having a fucking heart attack at Golden Corral while you're out eating with your family. It could happen. That's what this is about. Situational awareness is about being aware of not just your surroundings, but everything involved in your surroundings. The gut feeling, all of that. So being able to understand all of this and put it into an idea, that idea is situational awareness. I'm going to go ahead and end this video here, but I'll come back with more later. But sorry for kind of jumping the gun on my last video, and like I said, I don't comprehend that not everyone understands security, and not everyone knows the acronyms and the words and so on and so forth. So if you have any questions, let me know. And if you know me personally, shoot me a message. Say, hey man, you talked about this in your video the other day. I'm curious about it. I don't understand. Can you break it down for me better? Because chances are, if you're having that issue, so is someone else. So let me know what you're thinking. Give me your input, and I'll do my best to help you understand more. Thanks. Love y'all.